creating and working with tables, we're going to use a Google Doc, but if you were to use Google Slides, it's very similar. And then the other option would be Google Sheets, but that's done very differently. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to click where we want. We're going to go Insert Table. This is where I can choose the size. One box is called a cell, and then we go across. Rows are across, columns are down. So I'm going to do a 5 by 6. For those of you setting up bingo, that's what you're going to want. And now let's look at some of the features. So we talked about that one little box is a cell. Going down is columns, and going across is rows. Sizing the columns. So you can see how my mouse changes. You can just drag them to change the size you want. And then you could also, let's see, I did this, and then you're like, no, I want them all to be the same. If I hold my mouse down or hold the tracker down and select, and then right click and distribute. Distribute rows or columns, and this will do it evenly. So right now my rows across are all the same, but I want to make my columns the same. And then it did it automatically for me. Okay, if I only wanted, let's say these ones had some really long words and I wanted to leave them big, and only these ones, then they've made those three nice and even. Okay, so that's sizing. Filling, kind of the same. Maybe in Google Slides you've done this. If you want to fill some boxes, highlight different things, just use our fill. You want to get rid of it, make it transparent. I think in the Google Slides it's called Reset. That's your fill. Borders. So this one sometimes can be a little trickier. So let's say I want this to be a little bit thicker lines than the other ones. I'm going to click, I highlighted it. So by holding, if you're using a mouse, click once, hold, and go down. If you're using the tracker, you have to hold the bottom left and then, hold the bottom left and then pull down. Sometimes it's easier as well to hold the Shift button on your keyboard and then click the arrows in the direction that you want to go. So if you're not comfortable with your tracker pad, that's sometimes the easiest, holding Shift from where you want to start and using your arrow keys to where you want to go. So I want to make this line a bold one, a darker one, so it stands out. I'm going to click that little down arrow, and then I'm going to click the right side. And now it's going to give me my options to make it a thick one. Maybe I want to make it a different color, and that's how I change that color to be this. Maybe this one, for some reason, I'm going to need it to be solid, and I'm going to change it to that, and maybe it needs to be dotted. I'm not sure why, but as you get going and you find different tables that you need to organize, you might find that bolding certain lines make it easier to organize your table. Control Z or undo for whatever that was I just did. So sometimes if your title, and then you could underline your titles, your headers. All right, borders, merging. So sometimes if you had a category here and then you had idea 1 and then you wanted idea 2 in a separate box, but it was still about math, you select the cells you want, right click, and down at the bottom here it's almost cut off, I think. There we go. Merge cells. So merge means to group together, and it disappears that line in between. Okay, so now it's clear that anything for math belongs to, or anything from idea 1 and 2 belongs in this category here for math. To unmerge, I just right click that section and unmerge. Okay. Text options. So just like in regular typing, you could center it, you could make it on the right, you could make it on the left, but an added feature is only in slides, I think. Let's see, sometimes it's a right click. Okay, so this time it's a right click. So I'm going to look at this, I'm going to right click and I go to Table Properties, And now cell, so that's the box I'm working in, I want my text to go in the middle of it. So now it's completely centered in there. I don't have to do a whole bunch of spaces or enters. This will automatically make it perfectly centered. Sometimes if the right click doesn't show it, under Tools, nope, under Format, Table, this is where some of our options are as well. You can see table properties at the very bottom, your merge and unmerge, distribute, deleting rows and columns, and inserting rows and columns. So that's the other piece. So if I wanted another idea for math, I can right click and go insert row below or insert row above. If I insert it below, it won't be part of the merge. Okay, I would have to then remerge these three. But if I insert above, then it is. And I could just copy and paste everything up there. So that is, or like I said, under Format, you could insert and do those. What else do we have with tables? Oh, if you, like we said, we can right click and insert row below. You also could click in the last cell and on your keyboard, hit the tab button, T-A-B, tab, and it will automatically make a new. So tab will control it. We'll go to the next cell, and tab one more. It'll make my new lines. That is the gist of cells and tables using a Google Doc. If you are now doing the bingo assignment, you are going to spell the word bingo across. You can do whatever formatting you want with this, and then you're going to unmerge those, use the numbers provided to pick your numbers going down. And you'll have to see the assignment handout for that piece. Have fun, make it creative, enjoy.